Hello and welcome to Variant Edition of the Discussion. Tonight's discussion is Comic-Cons 101. And we got this suggestion from somebody on our forums.
And we've had this suggestion like a while ago, ever since we started pumping out footage of doing cons.
And so like finally we have the excuse. Let's talk all about conventions. Going to conventions, being at conventions.
Yeah, what to expect when you go to conventions. Because a lot of people, like nowadays I've noticed a lot of people go into cons, like especially New York Comic Con, like Wizard World Philly, things like that. It's a lot of people's first times going to cons. So, I mean, they go in thinking, oh, it's going to be like a room with some comics. No, it's not that at all. It's so much more than that. So
it's a really big room with a lot more comics than you'd expect.
Lots of comics.
Yeah, no, so first topic of discussion, hygiene?
I think hygiene should be first. Because if you've been to a comic book convention, hygiene is probably the thing you notice after, wow, there's a lot of comics here.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
You know,
it's just like going to a concert. Just think of it that way. If you ever gone to a concert?
Nah, it's usually worse at a comic book.
See, you're talking because concerts are well ventilated.
Yeah,
I like to refer to it as the con funk because what you're dealing with is people who probably may not have showered the day of or the day before.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't apply the right amount of deodorant.
I think the whole thing that we got to warn people about is like, okay, you know, Eddie, you bring up the point of concert, but you know that's its own entity. Comic conventions, you think of the type of people that go to comic conventions, they're people who, like, take a shower on the weekends as, like, a special treat or as punishment.
Oh, Mom, is it that time of the week again?
Exactly! Like, I don't want to go... Like, these people are just dirtbags.
Yeah.
And, I mean, God forbid you wear any deodorant or anything.
But let's not... But we're not trying to be down on all comic book fans.
No, but
But the stereotypical fan exists, and they go to cons.
And that's when you see them.
And that's why we have this stigma about us. So I think it's good to shower the night before if you're not going to be able to shower in the morning, as long as at night you're staying in like a nice, cool, air-conditioned area.
Yeah.
And if you can shower in the morning, it's better. It's
much better.
Yeah.
Now here's a trick that I've learned: wear clean clothes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, you know, they've showered. Oh, I'm clean. I smell good.
It's like I'm pulling this shirt and these pants off the floor. I mean, we've all done it, but when you go to places like this, it's a little bit nicer to do that for the people around you.
Exactly.
Well, it's not only that, but you're going to be dealing with you're in tighter areas with people. You're literally elbow to elbow with some guy who's probably 3 times your size and smells 3 times your size. He probably didn't put on enough deodorant. He's not wearing any sort of cologne, or he's wearing far too much cologne. He feels like he just kind of, you know, had a 16-ounce bottle of, you know, I don't know,
Aqua Velva.
Of Aqua Velva, and he showered in it. Like, or not showered, but just rubbed on himself.
See, here's the rule that my dad taught me when I was younger. If you can smell how much cologne you have on, you have too much.
Yes.
If you can smell your cologne, you have too much.
Yeah, maybe we should have had Lewis sit in on this one.
I think we should have, but okay.
We love Lewis.
So, yeah, shower, deodorant.
Clean clothes.
Clean clothes.
Oh, yeah, deodorant, because even if you showered, because these places, like Mike was saying, get really hot.
Yeah.
And really fast.
You're going to sweat and you're going to stink. Get either just a deodorant, if you got a sweat problem, antiperspirant, but just something so that you don't smell like, you know, disgusting.
Just on your way, just buy a tag spray. Just bring it along with you.
I mean,
that works very well.
I find if you have a body spray, like a Tag or Axe or whatever sort of body spray you got, pick it up with you. You're going to take a break for lunch. When you're outside, if you're smoking a cigarette or you're getting
give
lunch,
yourself a little spray.
Spray yourself down. I'm not talking like empty the bottle on yourself. I'm saying just a nice little coating. Maybe bring a little travel deodorant with you, reapply in the bathroom. I don't know.
And I mean, you guys watch commercials. You see all like those ladies coming after those guys who wear this body spray. Come on, that's marketing.
And that's superheroes at these things.
You'll have ladies in cosplay coming up to being like, "Oh, you smell so good,"
and then you're gonna turn her down because she smells like trash.
Exactly.
That's how it's gonna be.
And brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Because it's not just body smell that you smell a lot, but
mouth.
Oh my God, people! It's like garbage coming out of their mouth.
Because it's so loud. It's so loud in a place. Everybody has to get right in your face to talk. So yeah.
And this goes for dealers too, because I have haggled with some dealers who are like, "That'll be $15," and I'm just like, "And a pack of mints, Jesus Christ!"
Or it's like Sunday, and the dealers haven't, like, you know, showered.
And
they're all hungover.
They boozed up over the last 2 nights, so now they've got that alcohol funk coming off of them, too.
It's like, I'll give you an extra $1 if you just step away.
Yeah. So, yeah, hygiene, very important. shower, brush your teeth, deodorant. And this sounds like stupid things, but people aren't doing this. It's clearly there that they aren't doing it. So start doing it, people.
And I mean, if not for yourself, then do it for everyone else around you.
Not to mention you're going to be meeting your idols.
Yeah, it's win-win.
There's like famous people there. And people selling you comics. So I guess what we're trying to say is it's going to be hot. You're going to sweat. And so plan accordingly. So dress cool.
Yeah.
You know, you leave your trench coat at home.
Yeah.
Unless if it's part of your costume for whatever sword-wielding character you're
Heavier
trying to
clothes lead to sweat, which leads to bad smell. So you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, going along that with that, a lot of people ask, well, what should I bring with me?
Okay. What should you bring with you?
And my thing, I always bring a bag with me.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
whether it's like
they're
going to
give free bags
or a
you know,
book bag or something.
Yeah, because I mean they're going to give you free bags, but that's for the overflow.
Yeah.
You need a bag to put your stuff in. So I have a shoulder bag, but you see people with backpacks. If you're going to bring a roller, don't bring some big, huge.
Don't bring a roller.
Yeah, don't bring a
Don't
roller.
bring a roller.
Don't be
you
that
guys
guy.
are annoying. You block aisles. You take
You
the
run
spots of
over
like three
people,
people. You hit
it's-
my foot.
yeah.
You knock into people. You knock over stuff at tables. I'm sick of seeing you guys there. There's
It's
no
dangerous.
reason.
Because
to
no
have a
one knows how
car.
to handle those things. They're always tipping over.
Yeah.
Like people start tripping over themselves. I don't know.
Or they leave them in the aisle and they take a left to look at a table and it's just chilling in the aisle. And someone walking by quickly going like, oh, there's Joe, and I fell and I broke my Boba Fett statue that I just bought. True story. No.
But we got you another one.
Yeah, we got you another one. It's cool. Yeah, just don't bring those things.
Yeah.
I say backpack.
And you'll have a place to put your water. Like if you bring a bag.
Yeah.
Because if you've never been to a convention, food and water, it's like concert again.
Yeah.
It's like $3 for a little bottle of water. Like this. You know? It's like $5.
Nice block on the label there. Yeah, you bring a bottle of water. There are water fountains around. You can refill that same bottle of water, even though sometimes those water fountains can be nasty.
No,
so I say
okay.
go to like the farthest bathroom that's way out of the way where
It
people
might rain
don't
that
use
day.
it. Or you just buy a bottle of water outside, bring it in with you. They don't stop you from bringing in food.
No.
and water. So bring
And bring some power bars or something. Because,
Yeah.
you know, lunch, some cons, like right outside the convention center, will have restaurants.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
they're pretty
Oh,
reasonably
yeah.
priced.
Or in the case of Philly, there's that
across
nice
the
big
street.
marketplace.
Yeah, across the street.
Great Chinese.
It's like a mall. If it was just the whole mall was
It's
a
a big
food
ass
court.
food court, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's huge. It's
And
huge.
speaking of comic fans, what could be better than a mall made of a food court? Exactly.
It's like sales go up that weekend.
Absolutely. Tenfold. Wow, we've made our entire year in a matter of 2 days.
It's like wow, we're insulting like all of our viewers now. I think.
It's okay though, because it's true. I like food. I eat lots of food. It's what I do. I eat food. I work and I read comics. But yeah, so bring a couple power bars.
Yeah.
Bring a couple bottles of water. If you bring in comics to sign, back them and bag them. But here's the trick with that. Take them out while you're waiting in line to meet the person, because if I've got to stand behind you to get let's just say Mike Oeming to sign a Powers book for me, and you've got the entire Powers run and they're all backered and bagged, you have now delayed me at this table by a good 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Be courteous.
That's the thing. Again, people forget that we're all fans there for the same reason. So if you're considerate, maybe someone's going to be considerate to you.
Absolutely, pay it
You know,
forward. Type
exactly.
Of
You
thing.
know,
And
do as you'd like being done unto you.
What comes around goes around.
And back to the bag for a second. You're going to be wearing that bag all day, so make sure you got enough padding on the strap that it's not going to be hurting your arm, because
Yeah.
like when we go to the con, I've got a camera, I've got 2 bottles of water, I've got backup batteries, I've got extra lenses, I've got a still camera, I've got a tripod, maybe a monopod, extra tapes. My bag weighs a good 50 pounds.
Before you start buying stuff.
Before I start buying stuff. So my bag has like an extra, half-inch thick padding on the shoulders for that reason. It also has an additional strap to lock around your waist to take the weight off your shoulders. And I rotate during the day,
Yeah.
so my back doesn't kill me.
And which leads us to another thing about how the cons work. Most of the time, getting back to the being in line thing.
Okay.
When you go to a convention, you're going to be in line. If you're not buying something, you're going to be in line, because there's thousands of people there for the same reason. When you get there, you're going to be in line, and the lines are long to get there. So the trick is pre-register.
Pre-register, absolutely.
If you got to pick up your pass the day of, you're not going to get in there until maybe an hour after the show started already.
Yeah.
Once you get in, if you're going to wait for a signing, you're going to wait in line. And you're probably going to wait in line for a long time.
And if you're going on one day, I think it's important to look at the lineup of events for the day and say, okay, I got Stan Lee signing at, 1 to 2, which is just an hour. They only have 25 tickets for this particular signing. I better make sure I'm one of the first people through that door and that I'm the first person to find the pavilion. They give you a map.
Yeah.
Look at your map, plan out your day while you're waiting in line.
And sometimes they'll even make you get the tickets at the ticket booth.
Yeah.
So, that's the other thing. If somebody you want to see really badly, check to see if they have special event tickets. Because you need a ticket just to wait in line.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to get there, you're going to go to wait in line, the line's already an hour long, so you're like, and no, 50 people already got their tickets.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's,
This happened to us at New York Comic Con, which I thought was fun. I just want to bring this up. If you're waiting in line for something, and, say it's like a panel or a viewing or something, and you see some press guys go in before you, and you're like, I was waiting online for 3 hours. Why are they letting press in? Don't do that, because you just look like a jerk. They're press because they're press, and that's why they're going in. They do a lot more than you do, so you just...
we don't get much, they usually don't get much special privileges, but, cutting ahead lines...
Yeah, that's about it.
It's the only thing,
They let press go in first, bottom line, because we've got more equipment.
And you gotta get set up.
Things up.
Exactly. We're actually doing
the better
something,
angle. It's not we're just going to the panel to hang out and be cool for a couple minutes.
And we're there to work.
About that.
Yeah, that's
we're there to work. It's not like we're there to...
Well, we say but come on, it's usually it's the bigger, guys with big cameras.
Well,
and
fine, then
they're there
to work. I'm
Sometimes
there
us.
The fan who's working as well.
I'm just there.
And, okay, so also at the con, you're going to run into a lot of big names.
Yeah, that's stay cool.
Yeah, which is another thing, not to go backtrack or anything, but, you are going to meet your idols there. You're going to, do you want to meet Joe Quesada and have him remember you as the smelly guy?
Back to hygiene. Nice, tie that in.
It's just, that's how it is. I mean, you got to be, and, Bruce Campbell with his whole thing about shaking hands and all that stuff, you got to be cool about this.
Yeah.
Don't dork out, because most of the guys don't like that.
No, and I mean, it's going to be hard not to dork out in some way, but...
I remember you with Larry Hama.
We all do it, and then we get over it. But
Go Joe.
It's yeah. See the first New York Con coverage we did. He was laughing at us when he did our interview.
Actually, he was laughing at me more specifically because I also dorked out that.
Yeah.
I was laughing with him. So.
But the biggest thing is, I don't know, just pretend you're talking to somebody that you know.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you're just don't be like, oh, thank God you did Robin the way that you did, because my life just wouldn't have been able to be normal if he wasn't the way that you portrayed him. Just do you do awesome work. That's all they really want.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on this big
sob
story.
I've heard from some creators, they're not going to remember anybody.
Oh, no.
But every once in a while someone will not say something clever, but will bring up something about their work. Those are the people they tend to remember. If you don't want to make an impression with these guys. I mean, you're just there, say hello, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like you're buying them a drink or something.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do want to make an impression, don't try to be like everyone else that's just going, thank you so much, I love you.
And that also reminds me, if you're going there as a fan and maybe, just maybe, you thought, I could write a Spider-Man book, that is not the time to sit there and pitch out 5-story arcs after he's signing your books while other people are waiting in line.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to stand behind some guy who's telling me that Spider-Man should go up against the Green Goblin with the Fantastic Four helping out Doctor Doom. I don't care, all right? You're not working for Marvel. With Alf?
With Alf.
Yeah, you don't remember that story?
I'd read that.
True story about the Alf. We've heard that one before.
We've heard the Alf one before, but just...
It's pretty sad.
You're not...
It was.
It's really sad.
They're there to work. They're there to promote their books. They're there to, help out their company in whatever way they can. They are not there to have you, pitch out stories and stuff. If you're interested in writing stories, there are contacts on the web pages. Go out there. Email your stuff to the companies. Chances are you're one of a million other people who are doing that, and I'm sorry to say you guys aren't going to make it, so definitely stick with your day job. But, you know, it's a rough business as it is.
You guys better be pretty damn good at what you do if you're going to try doing that at the Comic-Con and be picked up.
Well, and only do it at the appropriate times. Because they'll have, like, portfolio reviews and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the
Like
thing is...
Top.
Don't try to go up to Joe Quesada or somebody and tell him like how to do his job. Or like, oh, you could do it better if you do this. They did it really fine without you helping them. So I think they got it under control.
Yeah. So now that we've been talking about how cons work, Lewis goes to a lot of conventions.
He's a madman at this.
And Lewis has met like tons of artists, and he's the guy that brings the box full of books to get signed.
He's the Lamprey of Variant Edition. We're out filming, he's out buying.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows more about the con, it's Lewis.
So we're gonna invite Lewis over, have him come in and kind of give some of his tips, and see if he can't fill in some of the stuff that we haven't mentioned.
Let me know what cologne he's wearing.
So here comes Lewis. All right, so we're back with Lewis.
Hello.
You've been to a lot of cons.
Yes, I have.
I can remember a few where, like Nick was saying, "Where's Lewis?" Oh, that's right. That whole box of comics is only half signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York Con last year. So, what are some of your pointers that Because I mean, obviously, you probably had things signed more than the rest of us have.
Yeah. Pointers would be that I've learned come to kind of like appreciate and think more of the artist and or writer that you're gonna go meet and have him sign stuff. I kind of learned that recently because like it's great that you admire their work so much up until a certain level that you're having them sign their whole entire 80 issue arc. Wink of Malev's Daredevil run with Bendis.
Didn't you do that one time?
I actually did that.
New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con.
No, Big Apple.
The Big Apple. Yeah. So it's good to take a good chunk, at least maybe 10 or 20 copies of random issues of your favorite issues that mean the most to you, or what you like more artistically or well written, and have them sign that and compliment them. Be like, yeah, these out of the whole run you did and out of the years you've been on this character, that these really stood out to me, and I think they are great, and it's by far your best work to date. Even if they're working on something good, so that's good.
Unbag them.
Unbag them not even online. Just a little before you get online, or even what I do, I prep at home. Unbag them at home and just get them ready and put them in a good tight space in your book bag so the spine won't get bent or anything, and you won't come home and by the way a page your favorite splash page just fell out, and now the book is worthless to you. So that's a good idea too.
Now, does sometimes they'll have a limit on how many pieces you can get signed?
Limits. Always be ready for limits, especially when you go to big cons and big every year they get bigger and bigger names come, and there's always more to do for the bigger names. Like there'll be panels for everybody, so they can't stay the full 2.5 hours like some guys do, like Jim Lee. They'll stay the full time, and they'll stay over their time just to make sure they get everybody as much as they can. Some of the guys can't do that, so be ready to only have maybe 5 items max, sometimes even 3 when it came to like Jim Lee when I met him, to get signed, and make sure it's something you really want, either whether it's for yourself or for someone else. Just make sure you have the top 3 of anything picked out in your mind, just in case there is a limit to anything you want.
And sometimes they'll let you get back in line.
Oh yeah, sometimes the guys will be cool. If whoever's in charge of the line, the last person on line sign guy, who let you get back in, or if the artist, is just in a good enough mood, he'll be like, I'll sign you, or little bag of my books, just because I feel like I can do it. And I won't get arthritis later on.
Now, do you CGC grade when you get stuff signed?
Actually, believe it or not, I don't. I got a lot of my stuff I just keep for myself, and I just rebag and board, and I put them in these cool little spots in my room where there's open space. So, and sometimes I have double copies of them, so I'll have one in in the box and then one out.
So that reminds me of something. After you get them signed, realize that the ink because they usually use Sharpies or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be wet for a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't stick it right back in the bag.
Yeah. And it also depends on what color ink they use. If you're getting a black cover signed, make sure it's silver Sharpie. Don't use obviously black. If it's a weird kind of a lot of colors on the cover, it's good. Black or gray would work, but the thing is, gray actually dries a lot better and quicker. And it's the way the ink is just saturated. It just stands out a lot better than black does, because black kind of just runs off.
Most artists will have a whole big chunk of pens.
Yeah.
So you don't have to bring it. But I mean, if you're real anal and real particular,
yeah, bring
your own pens. Just realize that if you have those Sharpie pens, warm them up.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, you gotta shake them, get them kind of going before you get, well, when you're in line on the back of your comic boards or something, you know. Because I've seen guys go to get their stuff signed, and it's like, it looks all faded because they use the silver Sharpies.
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't really ready yet.
Or worst case scenario, what some people actually do is, I've tried it a couple times. You have the artist or interior artist or whatever, whoever's on the book, actually sign the inside of the cover. That way, because sometimes that actually devalues your book if you have stuff signed on the cover, even though it's by the artist on the book. Sometimes, you know, if you get it to go graded, that'll actually bring it down a grade. So sometimes it's better to get it signed on the inside of the cover. You know, and they can do a little, you know, doodle if you want.
Because CGC will only, if they watch you have it signed.
Yeah, that's the only time it's official. If you get it signed and you don't have a CGC rep with you, they're not going to say that was done. As a matter of fact, now your comic's not worth anything because you've defaced a popular
Yeah, because then it's like Lewis said, it could actually lower the value on that. They're kind of
Drastically.
weird about that whole thing because they know most fans don't do it, but they won't guarantee that it's real.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I've seen people actually have the rep come and watch them sign.
But if you
Wow,
want
I
that
didn't
nice yellow CGC, this is an artist signature copy, you're going to need to get the CGC table to send you with a rep. Or
and one, you pay for it. It's not like
you
they,
pay for it. You know,
basically
you're
they're
paying cash
for
money.
Basically, you just keep this in mind if you ever plan on selling
that.
whatever you're getting signed later on in life. Otherwise, it doesn't even matter because it's just for you anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think signatures on comics really bump up because if this guy goes to a convention, it's probably not the only convention he's gone to in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's somebody that doesn't do conventions, then the comics might go up in value if it's signed. Otherwise...
Yeah, and it's nothing drastic either. Probably a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Don't go think you're going to get like $30 for, you know, a Jim Lee book, because he's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's not that hard to get a Jim Lee signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about, do you ever have sketches done?
Sketches, I've had sketches actually done a couple times. Walt Simonson, last year in New York, the Big Apple Con, signed the inside cover of the Thor Visionaries, this awesome full body head torso sketch, and that's really cool. If you're gonna do that, you get there extra early. As soon as the artist gets in, don't let him get settled in. Don't bother and be like, hello, how are you? Just wondering how long you're gonna be here, and I'm just wondering if you're doing sketches today. That's first of all. Don't be like, oh, can you sketch this? Like, are you doing sketches today? What time would you like me to come back?
Yeah.
My name is, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you so much for your time.
Always
Because
be
usually
polite.
you see a list.
Yeah, there's a list.
Because there's a list. Because they're like, you know what? I'm here for 6 hours. I can probably do 10 sketches today.
And the more polite you are, the more they're willing to do for you.
Yeah.
So always keep that in mind, Just
yeah.
common courtesy.
Yeah, because that means I've seen some really rude fans at the cons. It's like, I'm surprised the guy didn't just like get up and smack him. There's been some times it's like, damn,
I'm having a flashback to Baltimore with that guy with a stack of trading cards.
Oh.
Sign them all.
Now, the artist was nice enough to say, I will sign all of these for you. And it took him like 15 minutes, but he did it because the fan was, I think, probably one of the nicer guys, and then towards the end he kind of got rude and impatient. But he started off nice.
And he probably got there, that was like really early in the morning in the day.
Earlier.
So if you catch him, if there's nobody in line, they'll usually accommodate you.
This is true.
But and then when people start going up in line, they're like, oh, okay, the sketch is done now. It's like, oh, it's great. Oh, you get people in line now, that's done.
Yeah. Also, if you're big on sketches, best investment ever. I've seen a lot lately, and I'm thinking about doing maybe go out and get a really nice like grade A sketchbook. They sell them at I would imagine places like
Pearl Art Supply.
Pearl Art Supply around what's the store? Michael's.
Oh yeah, even Michael's.
Aces, Ace
AC
Hardware,
Moore.
AC Moore. Get a really nice sketchbook. Make sure it's a nice hardcover with a strong spine.
Yep.
And make sure you carry the sketchbook in your hand. You don't want to put it in your bag along with anything else where you can get crushed, or bent or any way. And that's a really good investment, especially if you you really adore your artist and you be like, I have a collection of my favorite artists.
Because I think a lot of people do that nowadays, and some people they'll then scan them and put them online.
Yeah.
And they have draw me a Batgirl.
Yeah.
Or draw me something with a monkey in it. I've seen there's a couple guys online that have those.
Yeah.
It's the artist isn't always going to want to indulge you on your little fetish sketchbook. But,
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Try to.
But then again, sometimes they think it's more interesting because then they get the chance to draw something completely out of what everyone's been asking them all day. Draw me Batman.
Yeah.
Draw me Catwoman. Draw me Batman.
Yeah, it's always nice to just if the artist asks you, to be like, do whatever you feel like drawing, and he might even go off and do something even nicer than you expected, and you just walk away, with this just big grin on your face, like, wow, I can't believe I just got this, you know?
And don't be surprised if you have to pay for your sketches.
No, do not be. And and
don't worry if you have to pay for your sketches, because
they're worth it.
They're worth it.
And
there's some scumbags out there, I've been reading some things about this, who will get like a big guy to sign their thing. And most artists will personalize the sketches because they know they don't want people selling these things, especially if they sign for free.
Yeah.
This guy had something sketched, personalized, took it home with a fat Sharpie, and made it look like there was like just some jaggy lines, like action lines, drawn over the to whoever it was.
Wow.
And then was trying to sell it on eBay.
Scumbag.
And that's a big scumbag.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you're one of those guys watching,
yeah, or like Adam Hughes.
You're a scumbag.
Better hope we don't catch you.
Big time scumbag. Or like Adam Hughes now. If you don't have the right kind of like badge, because retailers, professionals, other artists, they have a different badge when you go to the conventions. You know, when you wait in line and they give you a badge, sometimes it's an armband, sometimes whatever it is. Before he'll take a commission sketch, he'll check to see that you're not a professional.
This is true.
Because too many times in the past, he's paid, whatever, $50, $100 for your Adam Hughes sketch. They'll put them online or sell them in their shop for a couple $100.
Yeah.
Again, scumbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
And
you're
also,
one of those,
yeah.
if you're one of those guys with those roller bags, I'm gonna kick them over as well. So
While you're waiting for your sketch.
Yeah.
But if you're going for a sketch, and it's not a character that your artist, your favorite artist, might usually do, bring some reference stuff.
Yes.
Because believe it or not, the guy who works on Green Lantern DC may not have worked with Carnage in the past, you know?
Yep.
So maybe you should bring some pictures of Carnage, just so that he's got a reference. Some artists now carry the DC Encyclopedia or the Marvel Encyclopedia, but not everybody does. So just prepare to either, one, pick up like one of the cheap dollar comics at some bin that's at one of the dealer tables, or two,
Bring a printout.
bring stuff from home, bring a printout, get a poster, just whatever. Just as long as you have something that says, like, this is the character I want, this is how they kind of look, but I kind of wanted you to do it a little bit differently in your style art.
Because,
do that.
contrary to what most people believe, a lot of artists use reference material anyways when they're drawing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, I'm sure people who've seen a lot of our interviews with people, and we have a lot more coming up where the artists talk about their techniques. I mean, there's some artists that they'll photograph themselves doing everything just so they get the angles right. I'm like, oh, then I got to draw some guy's costume that I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know, don't take it as like, I don't know, don't take it wrong if they ask you for reference.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's how these artists draw every day.
And they're very busy, you know, so doing different characters.
Yeah.
So I guess on to the last thing, buying stuff. If you know you're a big buyer and you plan on spending a lot of money, if you enjoy your hobby like I do, bring at least $600. That's minimum basically these days, because you got to figure out food is a separate thing, where you're sleeping is a separate thing, and if you're a big alcoholic, drinking's a whole nother world. So at least or no, that's exaggerating, but maybe a couple $100, because books you can get at a good price.
Yep.
Trades are always half off if you go to the right people. If you go to the right people, half off action figures, and sometimes really good statues.
Yeah.
But bring a good amount to spend. And depending on what day of the con it is, sometimes it's the first day is a big bum rush to go get something to make a good deal. Or what always happens when you go to the smaller ones, you go the last day, and where everybody's just liquidating anything, and they're just dying to get it out of their hands because they just want to
Or
make
not
money.
even the smaller ones. See, that's always the trick.
Yeah.
Do I buy it now and maybe pay what they're asking for? Or do I take the gamble that they're still going to have it on Wednesday and I can talk the guy down?
Yeah.
More often than not, they're not going to have it on the last day.
Yeah.
They're not going to have it.
and
So it's pretty much just a gamble, so it's up to you. You go the first day, second day, last day, so...
basically start saving months in advance.
Months in advance, yes.
Yeah.
Because cons are expensive. Because, and another thing why you want to bring a lot of money, you're going to see things at cons that you can't buy anywhere else.
Exactly.
Like
Exclusive.
sketchbooks.
Show exclusives.
Well,
Show
not even like
exclusives.
the show exclusives, because sometimes you
No.
can get those online or
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
websites. But a lot of things you'll see, like I'm a big fan of, I hardly buy any comics, but I'll buy sketchbooks.
Yes, that I know.
And I love it because if I like a particular artist, that money I'm giving to him, I'm giving to the artist. It's not like he's getting a page rate through Marvel when I buy his comics or something. It's like, I get a sketchbook, and I get to see process kind of art, and sketchbooks are just cool.
Basically, it's kind of like doing a small commissioned work.
Yeah.
And the last thing I got to add one thing in here before we kind of wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that guy who is at home drawing in your sketchbook, and then you're done, and you say, this is some really good work. I'm going to go show it to people at Marvel. I'm going to go bring my art to artists and be like, oh, yay, look at how I drew Spider-Man here. It's kind of McFarlane, but with a touch of, like, you know, Oming flair, and it's also got a little bit of Mike Mignola shadow. No, don't do that, all right? Because guess what? They don't want to be bugged. They're just they're doing it to be nice to you, but don't bother them. You're looking for validation for your art, and that's fine. You can contact them outside. Most of these guys have websites set up.
Yeah.
You can send them stuff. Don't be surprised if you don't get a response. Some of the artists out there are going to be brutally honest to be like, listen, if I was looking at your sketchbook right now to hire you, I would tell you no, because your work is very bland every day. And on top of that, you've got no exteriors here. You've just got characters. There's no background here. Draw me a cityscape. Draw me some cars moving, some action things, whatever. You know, you got to look at everything that's going to be in a comic if you want to be in the business.
Yeah, and there's like tons of books out there.
Yeah.
For like how-to books.
And remember, they're not there to recruit for work. They're there to be there for the fans and just sign. And you know, it's what.
But then at the same time, every once in a while, if you go to an artist and he's slow, sometimes they will. If you ask nicely, don't just plop it on in front of them like Mike's saying.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy just plop it up. Oh, look at this! I think this is great. If you ask nicely, because I mean I've seen a lot of the guys that we talk to. It's not busy. Some guy comes over with a sketchbook, and he'll kind of give him some pointers.
And be prepared for honesty, because some of those guys are, even though they're nice, are going to be like, you're not going to get hired with this sort of portfolio.
Yeah. You'll put their best work, because the thing is, the same thing happened to them.
Yeah.
You bring your best work. There's the best thing, like. You're 2 years away from getting hired if you do this, and this. And then you go home crushed. And then you go on the internet and complain. Don't be that guy.
Don't do it all together so you're not crushed. Going home crying in the bathroom with
Because there's a lot of websites nowadays where they have forums where a lot of these artists like hang out, and people post their art there.
Yeah.
And you get a more honest answer, because he might not be hungover from last night. He's hungry because he wants lunch and he's been signing for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just, had 80 copies of a book, got autographed, and now some other guy is asking about artwork. Yeah. Meanwhile, what he's thinking is like, I really don't care. I'm just here to sign. I don't care.
So, I guess we should wrap it up because we're probably going on too long now. But the biggest things to remember, have fun.
Exactly.
You're going to go have fun.
Especially if it's your first time, you want to go back, and your first experience is going to be, just the trigger to come back for more and more. So,
and shower.
Yeah. Hygiene is the most important, and then fun.
And of course, I think
hygiene,
being
fun,
courteous.
and finances. There you go. Hygiene, fun, HFF, HIF. You can pronounce it HIF. Hygiene, fun, finances. There you go.
And of course, just be courteous, because
we're all here for the same reason. So
just be nice, because then that way someone might be nice to you down the way.
Exactly. All right, so that's our Con 101 episode of Variant Edition Discussion. Yeah. We've got another discussion coming up in a couple of weeks, and we'll maybe when we go to the Philly Con, we'll have a do and don't segment on our next show,
might be
where we can show you some of these examples that we just talked about.
Exactly.
Might get some legal problems with it. Yeah. We'll work something out. But let us know what you guys think. Check us out. We've got lots of ways to watch us. VariantEdition.com is really the best way, and it has links to all the other sites that we're available on. And go to our forums. We're always looking for suggestions, because this is our most interactive show, like Mike's always said.
Yeah. So this is obviously a suggestion. So obviously it works. So keep it coming.
All right. And if you see us at a con, come over and say hi.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time.